Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of life in prisons? How about the hidden world of gambling? Indeed, it's a little-known fact that gambling, particularly through card games, is a prevalent activity within the confines of prison walls across the globe. This underbelly of prison life is often overlooked, yet it's as part of the prison fabric as the barbed wire fences and the monotonous roll calls. Why do inmates resort to gambling, you may ask? Well, the reasons are as complex and varied as the individuals themselves. For some, it's a means to combat the relentless tide of boredom that washes over them daily. The repetitive nature of prison life can be mind-numbing, and gambling offers a much-needed respite, a thrilling deviation from the norm. For others, it's about the need for excitement, a yearning for that adrenaline rush that comes with the risk of winning or losing. After all, when your life is defined by the boundaries of a prison cell, the thrill of a card game can offer a temporary escape from the grim reality. But there's another layer to this: the desire to acquire goods and services. In the absence of conventional currency, inmates often use contraband items as betting chips. A pack of cigarettes, a coveted snack, or even a favor can become a high-stakes bet in a prison card game. However, it's important to note that this isn't a harmless pastime. The stakes are high, not just in terms of material goods, but also in terms of personal safety. Disputes over games can escalate quickly, leading to violence and further punishment. In the following segments, we'll delve deeper into this clandestine world, exploring the top 10 card games that fuel this illicit gambling activity. Before we dive into the top 10 card games used in prison gambling, it's important to remember that this is an illicit and often dangerous activity with serious consequences. So, buckle up for a journey into the hidden world of gambling in prisons. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have the classic Rummy. Originating from the early 20th century, Rummy is a group of matching card games notable for similar gameplay based on matching cards of the same rank or sequence and same suit. Its popularity in prisons is due to its simplicity and the fact that it can be played with any standard deck of cards. Moving on, at number 9, we find Spades. This trick-taking card game of American origin from the 1930s is typically played by 4 players in partnerships. The strategic depth and team play elements of Spades make it a favorite among inmates seeking a more cerebral challenge. In the confined and often tense environment of prisons, the camaraderie and competition fostered by Spades can offer a much-needed release. Slide into 8th place and we encounter the intriguing world of Pinochle. The game is a trick-taking Ace-10 card game typically for 2 to 4 players and played with a 48 card deck. Derived from the card game Bezique, Pinochle was brought to America by German immigrants and has since found its way behind bars. Its unique blend of tactics and probability makes it a popular choice among those looking for a game with a bit of a twist. Each of these games, in their own way, offers a temporary escape from the harsh realities of prison life. They provide not only a way to pass the time, but also a means of building relationships and a sense of camaraderie among inmates. It's also worth noting that these games, while seemingly innocent, can often become the center of high-stakes gambling, leading to tension and conflict. As we count down, the stakes get higher and the games more intense. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the hidden world of prison card games, where a simple deck of cards can become a tool for survival, a source of contention, or a beacon of hope. Moving on to number 7 in our countdown, we find ourselves in the realm of Rummy. This age-old game is a staple in many prison environments. It's all about matching cards of the same rank or sequence and same suit. The primary objective is to be the first player to dispose of all their cards. The intricacies of Rummy lie in its melding rules and the clever use of discards. It's a game that requires a keen eye, a good memory, and a knack for deception. At number 6, we come to the Game of Hearts, a trick-taking card game revolving around the avoidance of certain cards that carry penalty points. The player with the lowest score at the end of the game wins. The complexity of Hearts lies in its strategic depth. Players must balance the risk and reward of taking certain tricks, while also trying to predict and influence the actions of their opponents. It's a game that requires an understanding of probability, a keen sense of observation, and a solid strategy. Sliding into the number 5 spot, we have the Game of Spades. This is another trick-taking game, but with a twist. In spades, the players bid on the number of tricks they think they can take, and then attempt to take at least that many. It's a game that combines the unpredictability of card play with the calculated risk of bidding. It requires a strong grasp of probability, a good understanding of your opponent's playstyles, and a healthy dose of courage. These games are not just about luck, but also about strategy and skill. Each of them presents its own unique challenges and complexities, and mastering them requires more than just a working knowledge of the rules. They demand a deep understanding of game theory, a sharp mind, and a cool head under pressure. In the high-stakes environment of prison gambling, these games are not just a way to pass the time, but a test of mental prowess and strategic acumen. Getting closer to the top, at number 4, we have a game that is a staple in many households, the classic game of poker. This game is not just a common fixture in casinos worldwide, but also behind prison walls. The allure of poker lies in its combination of skill and luck. Each player is dealt a hand, and it's up to them to bluff, bet, and fold their way to victory. In prison, this game often involves high stakes, with players betting anything from food and cigarettes to personal belongings. The tension is palpable as inmates use their poker faces to bluff their way through the game. Poker within prisons isn't just about the game, it's also about the social dynamics. It's a platform for power plays, alliances, and rivalries. For some, it's a way to pass the time. For others, it's a survival strategy. In the tough and often volatile environment of a prison, a good hand in poker can mean more than just winning a game. Moving on, the third most popular card game in prisons is an oldie, but a goodie, the game of spades. This game is a favorite among inmates for its simplicity and competitiveness. It's a trick-taking game where the goal is to win the number of tricks that one's team bids on before each round. The stakes can be high in this game, with players betting on their ability to predict their own performance. Spades is a game of strategy and teamwork. In the chaotic world of prison, it offers a sense of order, predictability, and camaraderie. Just like poker, the stakes can be high, with inmates betting their prized possessions on a hand. The tension is high as each player lays down their cards, hoping to outsmart their opponents and win the game. These games are not for the faint of heart, often involving high stakes and intense competition. As we inch closer to the top of our list, the stakes only get higher, and the games grow more intense. Now, for the top 2 most popular card games in prison gambling, sliding into the second spot, we have poker. Now, poker isn't just a game of chance. It's a game of skill, strategy, and bluffing. In the confined spaces of prison, it takes on a whole new level of intensity. It's not just about playing your cards right, it's also about reading your opponents, picking up on their tells, and outwitting them. The tension is palpable, the stakes are high, and the game is always on. The thrill of a good hand, the rush of a well-executed bluff, it's all part of the allure. But let's not forget the risks. If you're caught playing poker in prison, the consequences can be severe, ranging from loss of privileges to additional time added to your sentence. And now drum roll, please. The most popular card game in prison gambling is none other than spades. Yes, you heard that right, spades. It's a game that requires strategy, teamwork, and a good deal of luck. The rules may be simple, but the game itself is anything but. It's about predicting your own hand, strategizing with your partner, and outsmarting your opponents. It's a game that brings a sense of camaraderie, competition, and excitement. But just like poker, playing spades in prison isn't all fun and games. The risks are high, and the penalties for getting caught are just as serious. These games, poker and spades, represent the pinnacle of prison gambling. They bring excitement and a sense of camaraderie, but they also come with a heavy price. The thrill of winning can quickly be overshadowed by the harsh reality of the consequences. It's a high-stakes game in more ways than one. These are the games that dominate the underground world of prison gambling, providing a mix of thrill and danger. In this exploration, we've uncovered the top 10 card games that rule the world of prison gambling. We delved into the hidden world of prison life, revealing how gambling serves as both a prevalent pastime and a source of conflict. From the high-stakes games of poker and blackjack to the less familiar but equally engaging games like spades and pinochle, we've taken a close look at the card games that dominate the prison gambling scene. We've discussed the intricate rules and strategies of these games, and how mastering them can offer a sense of accomplishment and a temporary distraction from the harsh realities of prison life. However, we've also highlighted the severe consequences that can arise from these activities, including increased tension, violence, and even extended sentences. Remember, while these games may offer a temporary escape from the harsh realities of prison life, they can also lead to severe consequences, underlining the complex and often dangerous dynamics of life behind bars.